evening, St. Stephen. Intern Shawna here. God's peace to you at home. The message for this week comes from Matthew 10, and it is verses 26 through 37. Now, the translation for this week is from the Message, and I wanted to read it to you out loud because I felt like it fits so perfectly in the context of what we are going through as a society right now. So Jesus speaks to the disciples and he says, "Do not be intimidated. Eventually everything is going to be out in the open and everyone will know how things really are. So don't hesitate to go public now." And so we are in the space as a spiritual community where we are learning, we are becoming aware, we are being challenged. And this week I have had this meditation in my heart of Jesus that calls us to divine love, to unconditional love, to radical love. That Jesus came here and walked with us in human form and died on the cross, and that we put him to death even though he came here in peace. And he advocated for inequality and injustice, and he lifted those up who were oppressed, and he loved all people. And what a beautiful testament to God's unconditional love for us. So God challenges us in this moment to unconditionally love. And as a human with social constructs and an American and all these things that we have been raised in and not even realized, it's challenging for us to think that God's love is 100% unconditional, that we are all children of God, no matter what, that God sees each one of us exactly the same, that our worth is not measured at the end of our life. And we grew up in a society where it's right and wrong, white and black, crime and punishment. And so we've been conditioned. It's so hard for us to even act in activism without blaming. And I've caught myself on this journey. For one, I start to feel frustrated and I feel defensive. And I feel like I just have to tell the world, I've done work, I've read certain books, I've been a part of different conferences, I'm not the problem. And then there have been times where in deep conversations, it's everyone else, it's the government, it's the administration that's in office right now, it's placing the blame on everything else, but we are all a part of those systems. And the only thing that is going to get us out of this is understanding really all sides, understanding the history, the stories of all people. And so I have this coming Sunday when I preach, I kind of touch base on this. And I just wrote this little thing, so I thought I would read it out loud. So the cost of discipleship is the cost of radical love. And it challenges all of our being. It is not something we are used to. It calls us to radically love. We are called to love the abused and also the abuser. We are called to love the victim and the victimizer. We are called to love the oppressed and the one who oppresses. Because behind every human life there is a story, a history, a reason that they have chosen to act the way that they have. Jesus forgave his captors who put him to death. And hatred and bitterness and blame will not push us forward. Only God's divine love and goodness will transform our communities. So in our devotion this week, the Spirit is with us, working through our communities. And together, when we put the hard work in, God will guide us to where we need to be. But radical love might be the hardest thing that we are challenged with. And even in our theology, if you ask each person what they grew up with and how they defined God, it may not be an unconditional and loving, merciful God. God may have looked quite different. So I was doing some research, and Dr. Martin Luther King, he published 6 steps for nonviolent social change. And the last step, 6, is reconciliation. And I wanted to read it out loud. So reconciliation. Nonviolence seeks friendship and understanding with the opponent. Nonviolence does not seek to defeat the opponent. Nonviolence is directed against evil system, forces, oppressive policies, unjust acts, but not against persons. Through reasoned compromise, both sides resolve the injustice with a plan of action. Each act of reconciliation is one step closer to a beloved community. And so we are called to be reconciled in all things. That's not an easy task, is it? Reconciled that everyone's worth is equal. Everyone is forgivable. The unforgivable is forgivable, that we can come together in this pure divine love. So, I leave you with that, St. Stephen. I love you. I care about you. I have thoroughly enjoyed Wednesday evening. If you have the opportunity to come to our live parking lot worship, please do. It was the highlight of my week. So God bless you, love you, and stay strong.